It's a series that started back in 1894 and continues this evening as the Lobos of New Mexico take on the Aggies of New Mexico State. Hi, everybody. I'm Joel Myers alongside Jay Taylor, and welcome to Las Cruces, New Mexico. As the Lobos of New Mexico hit the road. Only a 3-hour drive, but they are on the road for the first time this year, and they're also looking for their first win of the year. They've been able to move the football. Stopping the football, another story we'll get into, but moving the football has not been a problem, especially for tailback Terrion Gibson.
We're looking at a guy that's leading the team in rushing, averaging 5.1 a touch, but the biggest thing, too, is his second leading receiver. So he has to get a lot of touches early and often if they want to win this game.
New Mexico State taking the field, our home field, on a brand new turf, and great surface here. Well, they've taken 2 of their first 3. They lost last week in the I-10 series in El Paso. Despite that, though, their wide receiver had a spectacular game, Teldrick Morgan.
Sure did. 8 catches for 202 yards, and he's a very dynamic receiver. They lean on him to make big plays. If they're going to get out with the win today, they're going to need him to get behind this defense, like you mentioned so much, that's having a hard time stopping people, stretch it out, open that running game.
And the best part of it for Aggie fans, he is just a sophomore, young man from Hanover, Maryland. So we're just about set to go. It is really a magnificent night, about 80 degrees right now. Temperature will drop, of course, in the land of enchantment, the state of New Mexico. But we will take a brief timeout, get ready for the opening kickoff. The Rio Grande Series, New Mexico and New Mexico State, up next on ESPN. Now, finally, the Lobos of New Mexico take the field. They have not been out here for over an hour. So that's one thing they really didn't want to do, is associate with their rivals from 3 hours away, the Aggies. And I told you it's about 80, well, it's 84 actually. But what a crystal clear night we've got after monsoon rains over the last couple of days in this area, and unfortunately flooding Arizona, New Mexico, all the way through Texas. But we get a break tonight for this football game, and a matchup of 2 guys that have not been on the sideline all that long for their respective schools. And an old friend of ours, Bob Davie, on one sideline. The other, Doug Martin, is in his second season after a long run at Kent State. He's in his second year as the Aggies head coach, and somebody all of us at ESPN know quite well on the opposite side in his third year as the Lobos head coach, and Bob Davie. 5 years at Notre Dame, few years with ESPN, and he got the bug. He had to get back, Jay.
And I think that's important when you're doing a game of this magnitude. You have a young team that hasn't won yet this season. You know your offense is your strong suit. They put points on the board. Definitely want to take the ball first.
So the Lobos are going to receive. They won the toss. Not much wind. What wind is going to be in their face on the first drive of the game, but very little. It is going to be kicked away by Alex Luthen, the junior from Wichita, Kansas. And going back deep for the Lobos, it'll be Carlos Wiggins. So Wiggins over to the near side, their wide receiver out of Plano, Texas. In fact, the Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Year last season. 3 TDs on kick returns. Also had a 30-yard average, one of the very best in the nation. And, well, he missed last week's game, so he's fresh. Missed the Arizona State game with a thigh bruise. So Wiggins waits back deep. Luthen gets into it, and good to have you with us on ESPN. And it's going to sail over the head of the opposite side. Terrion Gibson was back there. And now the Lobos 1st and 10 at their own 20. Now Colt Gauchi is going to play. He missed the Arizona State game last week, or make it 2 weeks ago, with a hamstring injury. So the week off paid off for Colt Gauchi. He's a junior from the suburb of Rio Rancho, New Mexico, just outside of Albuquerque. At 6'4", 235. And Jay, they run the pistol, so it's going to be interesting. They one of the best rushing teams, 4th best, in fact, in the nation last year, 308 yards a game.
Well, that helps when you run the pistol. You need a quarterback that has that ability to have the dual threat to make the defense play honest.
It'll be Gibson off the left side. Good yardage on first down from the 25 out past the 30 near the 31. Gibson, a little guy at 5'8", 175. And the impact player, Tyler Duncan, the wide receiver at Long Beach Poly High School in Southern California. And watch out for Rodney Butler, a guy that leads the Sun Belt Conference in tackles of the first 3 games of the year. On 2nd and short. The toss for Gibson. Out on the edge. Big yardage across the 40. So multiple looks in that pistol.
And that's what makes it so dangerous. When you're talking about Gibson, I mentioned big play threat, averaging 5.1 yards a touch. You're seeing why. When he gets the ball in his hands, between the tackles, outside the tackle, he has explosive speed and gets upfield very quickly and puts pressure on the defense.
First 28 yards, or 28 carries rather, for 144 yards. So he's the guy that's going to get the touches. Van on the toss, gets out on the edge again. Van, a nice block kick out from the wide receiver. He took a pop at the end of the play, but still got about 7 as the Aggies, Darian Jones, the defensive back, came up and made it.
And that's not a good sign for the Aggies defense when your secondary is the one coming up making these tackles. You would like to see your linebacker core, especially Rodney Butler, the 40 tackles on this team, leading tackler. That's going to be a lot of running for him, but that defensive front has to do a better job on contact.
David Anaya is taken over in the backfield, a junior from Roswell, New Mexico. Chip Wiggins into the backfield as well. And looking to throw on a jump ball, in and out of the hands of the wide receiver on the far side of the field, trying to come back on the ball. It was Damian Gamblin, a sophomore from Mesquite, Texas, all tangled up.
I like the play call. You've been running the ball very effectively. Now you got the defense on the toes trying to come up and start the run. You take a shot downfield. Cole wanted to go to the tight end and was covered. He did a good job of his progression going to his number 2. The receiver did an excellent job trying to come back for that ball. Just couldn't come up with the catch.
So it's going to be 3rd and a little more than 3. Call it 4. Anaya is shifting along with Presley in the backfield. Van Gauci calls his own number, won't get there. He is shut down, crossing the midfield stripe. So a big time play by Alua, the left end, a sophomore from Hawaii.
And that's what needed to happen. The defense had to step up. They've been gashing on the runs. Now you make a play, 3rd down, you have them where you want them, get them off the field, give your chance to offense to come back on the field.
Young man we were just talking about out of Hanover, Maryland, sophomore Teldrick Morgan waits for the punt. Zach Rogers gets into it, and on the sideline will go out of bounds right at the 15. So the Aggies, after giving up a 1st down, slow down the Lobos on their first possession of the contest. Now they'll get it with quarterback Tyler Rogers when we come back with Las Cruces. Welcome back as the Aggies of New Mexico State get the football for the first time. Joel Myers along with Jay Taylor. The Rio Grande Series. And we'll talk about that through the course of the evening. Points, how it's accrued, who can win the flag. As the flag is what represents the winner of the overall series. Out to Adam Shapiro on 1st down. And Shapiro wrapped up right away. Good crowd mics. Richard Winston making the play. The outside backer, and they're going with some pace, aren't they? Little tempo. And nothing doing on the ground as well. So the first carry of the game, they shut down the running back Larry Rose. Tyler Rogers, he has not had problems throwing the ball. In fact, over the first 3 games, averaging 240 yards per contest. Needs about 7. Shapiro on a delay and a cross into the secondary with a 1st down across the 35. Out to the 38. Adam Shapiro, Rio Rancho. Shut down by Guthrie, but big yardage, and boy, did he have some space.
Sure did. No huddle. They're using the pace of that speed, trying to catch this defense off kilter and doing a good job getting open field. Good tackle right there.
Little double clutch. And not much available on the outside of the wide receiver. So it goes to Bowen on the outside. Teldrick Morgan, we talked about him at the top of the telecast. Dakota Cox, the middle linebacker, someone to watch for the Lobos. trips on the wide side of the field. So a lot of different looks, formations, and it's Morgan with a stiff arm, but he can't peel away from Guthrie once again. Big time play with a strong safety.
We're seeing right now this offense is really trying to press the game, going with the no huddle, forcing this defense to have to respond without substitutions and trying to wear them down early.
It'll be 3rd and about 4. And let's see if the up-tempo, they're just getting to the line, Jay, not snapping it necessarily this time all that quickly. Here's an extra pass rusher on the outside and wide open on the outside. It's Rose, the running back. He's got the first down. They gambled and got burned.
They surely did. Richard Winston came on a blitz on the outside, and when that happened, left Rose all alone. Tyler Rogers do a good job giving what the defense is taking what the defense is giving.
Rose battling, won't make it back to the line though. Loss of a couple of yards. Well, they're trying to increase. When we talked to Doug Martin, the head coach, earlier this week, he said it's all about team speed. So it's a very young squad. Larry Rose, in fact, first-year freshman out of Fairfield, Texas.
And what they're doing right now is using their advantage by wearing out the other team that's faster than them right now.
Empty the backfield, 2 to each side. Man, good call. Sliding down short of the first down at about the 36, Tyler Rogers. He sent him the other way. Rogers, quick, big, played 1 year at Western Arizona where they also ran this similar system out of the gun. He needs about 3 yards. And the running back won't get it. So they push back Brandon Betancourt, the senior from right here in Las Cruces. And a decision to be made on 4th down as Cox, the middle linebacker, stuffed the play. And they will not try even downwind a long field goal here of about 52 yards.
I like the call. This could be a situation where Pooch punt as well.
Will they gamble? Yes, they will. And what a grab. It looked like it was going to be out of the reach of Joshua Bowen, the junior from Albuquerque, but he cradled it enough, didn't he?
Sure did. Good catch, keeping the drive. I love the play call. You have a young team, there's nothing to lose. You had a bad game against UTEP. Come out here, be on fire.
Another one on the far side for the kick out for the wide receiver. Not a bad move on the reception as it's taken in by Joseph Matthews. So Joseph Matthews, a senior from Tucson. They're going deep already into the wide receiver group. And again, quickly to the line after a gain of about 5. Same play. It worked for 5 last time. It'll work for 5 more, and it gets a first down. It's Matthews.
They found, definitely in their game planning this week, they found something, the outside bubble screens. They've gone heavy with it this first series. And as we can see, it's been very effective. New Mexico is having a hard time getting enough men out to stop that play.
It's a real nice average in last week's loss, and they hurt themselves in the red zone last week at UTEP. A first down to the 20. And a nice little cutback. Larry Rose. Big yardage on first down as he gets 7, almost 8.
Sometimes there's an advantage to being a freshman coming in. You don't know what's supposed to be. All you know is just go out there and play, and you play a lot freer than somebody that may have a lot more pressure because they've been around the program no longer.
Good call. That time, they basically ate him alive. So Rose goes down in a heap. And it was Brett Bowers, a guy that had 3 sacks and a forced fumble in last year's win over New Mexico State. So they're still going up-tempo with a late substitution. It'll be Betancourt taking over for Rose in the backfield. Drive started back at the 15, 2nd and 9 from the 12. Fade, corner of the end zone, wide open. And off the fingertips of his back, Betancourt. He was there.
That was an excellent play call. He had just came in. They did a spin route. And you're going to see there gets picked off right there. The guy that had him, Johnson, and just an inch too long and that would have been a touchdown if he could have pulled it in.
So a big third down coming up both ways in a game that is emotional for both sides. And don't forget, even though the Aggies have lost the previous two, they had won the three before that. Now you want to snap it. You need to snap it. Well, they didn't get it off in time. And a flag is going to be on a false start, I believe. The umpire threw the flag. And were they in set position, Jay, or will they pick it back up?
There's no foul in the play. We were allowing the defense to match up on the offensive substitution. Third down. Please set the play clock to 25.
That's what I was wondering, too. I'm like, okay, they shift around so much. The motion he came up, where are they going to call that? But that's a good no call.
It'll be 3rd and 9. Underneath, taken the other way. Look out. It's the big guy we were just talking about, Dakota Cox, with the interception. The sophomore from Draper, Utah. And he is the only experienced guy they have defensively.
Sure was, and they lined up showing blitz. They had a bunch in the box. They had 8 or 9 in the box showing that they were coming. Dropped off late. Tyler Rogers misread it. And when you watch this happens, they show blitz and look at him drop back. You see Cox drops back. Right there waiting on it. Tyler Rogers should have held on to the ball, thrown it to the strong side. But through his progression, that was just a bad play. Good offensive series to get down to that point, but like you mentioned last time, this is what hurt them against Utah.
Mistakes in the red zone, turnovers. So we saw the red zone percentage. It's no longer 100% now. It'll be a first down at the 26. Little jet sweep to the wide receiver. As they give it off, in fact, Gibson set up on the outside and got him in motion. The sophomore from Dallas for a good gain of 6 on first down. So the shock effect, Jay.
It sure did, and I think that was a good interception for New Mexico. Your defense has been struggling. To come up with that play in the red zone was huge because for sure they were going to take 3. You took 3 off the board, and now let's see if your offense can go down and make it a 10-point switch.
Gungbe joins Gibson in the backfield. Then it's going to be Gibson, or make it Gungbe instead. Nifty move to the outside, and now look out. Inside the 40, all the way to the 31-yard line. Crusoe Gungbe, a senior from Rockville, Maryland. And what an impression on his first touch of the game.
The pistol is a form of the option. That means you got to have someone taking the quarterback and the running back. On that play, the quarterback was taken, the running back was not, and you saw the result of the big play.
And Bob Davie told us in a
62
rebuild.
helmet came off. He has to sit out for 1 play. He did not participate. First down.
And they felt that the only way they could really rebuild in a hurry and be competitive at the same time was the option.
And it's a good one because when you think about Navy, Army, some of the cool schools have smaller players, they're effective because it's so hard to prepare for the option.
That's the deception of the option. Trying to find the football. Shift the tight end. Reese White the short side. Gauchi. And will he give it up? Nope. Good run on first down. He's close to another one. And it looks like he may have a first down. Let's see if they put him out. Right at the 20. He's got it. 11 yards on the carry.
Big quarterback. He's designed run right off the bat. And you can see the defense has to still try to play him on this, but I like he doesn't try to go out of bounds. He uses his size. 6'4", 234. Tough target to pull down.
Opener, he had 184 yards rushing. In his 8th 100-yard rushing game over the last 2 seasons. Brings Wiggins into the backfield, and now you're going to have a false start on Gibson.
False start. Offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Run game for the Lobos over their last 26 games, and they really spread it around for Bob Davie. 22 different guys, 22 different runners with 100-yard rushers. And when I say 22 different, well, it may be Gibson 1 week, the next week someone else. 4th best in the nation last season. 309 yards a game on the ground. But now off schedule a little bit. Back to the 25. And Gauchi in a collision with Gibson, who thought it was going his way. And that's another thing with the pistol and an option. Do I have it or don't I?
Well, and that's on the quarterback, because sometimes the quarterback's eye shows him one thing. As he puts his hands in, he sees something differently. So watch Cole. He puts it in there. He's like, oh, wait a minute. It's open on the outside. And at that point, it's too late. That's what causes that fumble.
And the other guy's hungry, too, by the way.
Oh, they definitely are.
It'll be 2nd and 16. Wiggins trying to bend it to the boundary and loses about 3. Boy, coming up on the outside, Darian Jones, the first-year freshman out of Southlake. And boy, if they produce some players, Southlake Carroll High School in particular.
And that's how you have to stop the option. Everybody has to do their responsibility. Watch it get spread out here. As it comes, as the defense, you want to keep stretching it. He knows he has the outside contained. Good tackle. That's how you force a 3rd and long.
So 3rd and 19. We'll see what they did. Well, so far, not much of a sample size. Just 2 games. Gauchi needs about 19. And the underneath, they'll give him that and push him back. Taking it in, Marquise Bundy, the junior from Anthem, Arizona. His dad, in fact, played college ball for the Wildcats of Arizona. And a long field goal try is going to be coming up for the Lobos, Zach Rogers.
And they're going into the wind on this trip.
Slight breeze in his face. Rogers, he's hit his only try this year, a 35-yarder. But he hasn't hit in about 4 years. He's an interesting story. He's come back to football after 4 years away. It's out of the hold of Quentin McCown. It's going to be officially a 40-yard attempt. On its way, plenty of distance to the direction. No. So Zach Rogers with his first miss of the year. A booming one at that. So a break for Tyler Rogers. Man, the Aggies. It looked like it was going to be points off a turnover. Instead, we are still scoreless. A little more than 3 minutes to play in the first 15. The flag for the Rio Grande Series. And there's 3 points at stake for this game. Also, in basketball and volleyball, every other sport all year long between the 2 schools, a point and a half. So there's a lot at stake. It means a great deal to the 2 programs, and especially as you see that score, what happened last year when the Lobos won it, 66-17, and also won it the last time they were here on this field. Joel Myers, Jay Taylor, back in Las Cruces. Magnificent night for football. At the 23, a break for Rogers. Now can Rose get out of the backfield, running up the back, one of his blockers. Not much available for the freshman. About 2 yards up to the 25. So a couple of mistakes both ways. Rogers with the pick, didn't let the play really develop down in the red zone. And then the missed field goal attempt. Rogers again racked up right at the original line, maybe a yard up to the 26. It'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, not a very good start compared to how they started the first drive. They started with 2 runs inside, not much movement. What got the run going the first drive was throwing it outside, loosening those linebackers up, allowing the run to work on the inside.
Yeah, now they're trying to spread them out a little bit. Late subs coming onto the field. And I'm kind of surprised that they haven't snapped it. Oh, the umpire and right tackle comes up. So there's confusion. The umpire making sure they're allowed the substitution. And then the right tackle up.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And they give it to Cunningham instead, the right guard, the junior from Frisco, Texas.
Yeah, and that's a tough situation because the ref was holding it, and then New Mexico's been showing a lot of blitz. They come some, but they're running up, dropping back, and in doing so, made the offensive line jump. Now it makes it 3rd and longer. Yeah,
and he's in there at right tackle, in fact, Cunningham. Abram Holland is playing right guard, a sophomore from New Mexico. The guy that started the last 7 last season. So 3rd and long. 3rd and a little more than 13. Clear out the side, wide open and overshooting. You could see Joshua Bowen And the distraction that Shapiro became, he took 2.
He definitely took 2. That is one of those that you wish you can have back. Wide open, that would have been an easy 6. Tyler Rogers puts his hand on his helmet like, oh no, I can't believe I just missed. You'll never see an easier throw.
And the offensive coordinator who made the call, the deception that he got out of that with the other wide receiver taking 2. Boy, that burns a play. In for the punt, Witkowski, and downwind. It'll be taken by the Lobos, and a good return for Bird, or make it Chris Davis rather. Chris Davis bringing it back, the wide receiver. And a good job of the freshman from Westlake Village, California at Oaks Christian High School. We are scoreless. Great field position though when we come back for the Lobos at their own 48. Aggies and the Lobos getting together. Started back in 1894, and we couldn't ask for better conditions tonight in Las Cruces, New Mexico. New Mexico State already taking 2 of their first 3. New Mexico 3-9 last season. Second year for Bob Davie with the Lobos. In fact, this is the 3rd year for Bob Davie. And when I say 3-9 last year, I mean it's a total rebuild. When you consider 2009, 10, and 11, the 3 years prior to him taking over in 12, they were 1-11 each season.
Right.
So the Sun Belt Conference, the defensive player of the week, we're watching him tonight for the Aggies, Rodney Butler, like Maxwell Johnson, the kicker, who was 2 for 2.
And that's huge. I mean, you think about that game in UTEP, they wish they had back. I mean, they left a lot out there. And when you have a young team, that can be very frustrating. But what we've seen so far tonight is they've kind of shaken that off a bit. A couple little mistakes, but they're moving the ball.
Official sideline warning, no yardage on New Mexico.
And when you look at that, that's after the game against Georgia State on the road where they came back and they were down. It was the biggest comeback since 2002. They were down early 17-0 in that game and came back and got the victory. Gibson in the backfield along with Anaya. Mangauchi wants to throw it and wide open down the sideline. Anaya, what a grab. No, he can't come down. And I thought he was going to go to the other receiver. Magnet really had space downfield. Big number 87.
He sure did. And when you look at this, it was a double seam route. And the DB does a good job, Adrian Jones, fighting for that ball. It's not over until the whistle is blown. And he gets that ball out of there in the last second, negating a big pass.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go to the other man who had a lot of room.
Yeah, Jarek Magnet just definitely was 2 yards on his corner.
Pistol formation. And now timeout has been called by the Lobos late. So on a 2nd and 10 to their own 48.
It's called their first half. Timeout at the half.
To the Mountain West Conference, the Lobos, the Sun Belt Conference. The Aggies
timeout.
of New Mexico State. It's their first of 3. 95 seconds left in the opening 15 minutes of play.
You know, Coach Davey was right there. He's the one that ran over to stop and called that timeout. He's like, no, everybody come over. They clearly saw something, and what they called, clearly the guys were not doing. This is the young team, and this is what you have to do sometimes. You have to stop it, get them all on the same page.
Bob Davie, man, we mentioned it, 5 years at Notre Dame, now taking over in his 3rd season at New Mexico. And it's a major project, as we stated. And when you take over a program that had gone 3-33 your previous 3 years before you arrived, I mean, and when you look at their 110-man roster, there are only 9 players that have not been recruited by Davie and his staff on this roster. The last 3 years they have brought, in the last 3 recruiting seasons, they brought everybody in. Gibson tripped up on the outside, and that's Dalton Harrington, the weak side backer, who made a big play. Otherwise, it was big yardage.
Sure was. And again, with this option, when they run the pistol option, assignments are so key. If you are not fundamentally sound on defense, big plays will happen. And you saw that big gash right there. Now it's 3rd and manageable instead of 3rd and long.
Does New Mexico capitalize on their best field position to start a drive so far? It's a 3rd and 5 at the 47. Wiggins sets up, and they give it to the up man, and he is gone. Look out. It's Presley. Touchdown, New Mexico.
Touchdown, Lobos. Noah Presley on the touchdown run for UAM.
Triple option. Cole just hands it right there to Presley. Simple move. Defense goes for the quarterback. The person responsible for fullback didn't do it. 6 points, big run. This is what this offense has been doing all year. The defense has been doing their job tonight, but this is why Coach Davies feels so well about this team. Young and experienced, they can put points on the board.
So they take advantage of a short field, only a 52-yard drive, huge run. Now a 47-yard run from Jarrell Presley, a junior from Newcastle, Delaware, as Zach Rogers puts it through for the extra point. So they stun the crowd here in Las Cruces. With 52 seconds left in the opening 15 minutes of play. So you're always worried about the outside with the pistol. Well, the guy's inside, and we talked about the middle linebacker, and he was a special teams, or rather conference, Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago. He's got to stay at home. The inside backers.
Sure do. That in the defensive front, you can see as he came through, I mentioned it earlier, a couple plays before that, when you go against triple option or any type of pistol option, responsibility, fundamentals, do your job, trust your teammate to do his job. That play, that didn't happen. And look at him. This is what you do when you have a young team. Oh, you didn't know? Get back out there. You're on the kickoff team. No time to rest.
Jason Sanders will kick it away. 7 touchbacks on 9 kickoffs so far over the first 2 games. A first-year freshman from Southern California, from Orange, California. Morgan is back deep, along with Jaden Wright, one of the defensive back. So a game will catch up early for the Aggies. So Sanders will hit it into a slight breeze, picked up a little bit since the opening kick. And goes with a pooch over to the near side. Taking in an alert play. That's Dalton Harrington, the weak side backer. Heads up play on specials.
Sure was. Now I'm looking for a response. I'm looking to see, New Mexico State's offense. What are you going to do? Can you come out and respond? You just got hit with the blow. Can you counter blow? Can you go down and put points on the score? And then New Mexico's defense. Your offense just scored. You've been playing well. Can you stop the momentum of the Aggies and not allow them to go down and tie this game up?
And the Aggies, let's face it, Jay, they have stopped themselves more than anything else.
So true.
The Aggies, they just missed a wide open receiver. Would have been big time play. And off the play fake. Perfect throw that time. Taken in by Joseph Matthews as he's belted on the far side with a strong safety, Guthrie. But as bad as the one got away from him on the last series, that was perfection.
They caught the corner up there. I would say it's Isaiah Brown in limbo and took advantage of it.
Throw it out to Morgan. Good job by Guthrie, battling the block of the wide receiver. Still decent yardage, but it wasn't the kick-out block they were looking for.
And they're getting back to what I thought they were effective on that first drive. The bubble screens outside. Make these linebackers have to run sideline to sideline.
Second down, a little more than 4. Rose wrapped up. And did he get him around the grill? Brett Bowers, the defensive end, played off the block perfectly of Andy Cunningham.
Good play. Clemente, the left tackle, didn't do a very good job of washing him down. A good tackle. Just got to make sure he didn't face mask.
Did he get him up top? Because it was thrown right there.
There was no foul on the play. Contact in question is legal.
So no penalty.
Third down.
It'll be third and about 5. And if they roll it, and which they will, that may be the final snap. Let's see if they get it off in the last 13 seconds. Don't need to.
Third down and 5 for the Aggies.
And they won't. That'll do it for an entertaining first 15 minutes of play for all of us, but not so much for Doug Martin on the sideline, as you can see.
Exactly. And it's good. I think it's smart to
That's
wait,
the end of the first quarter.
switch it, talk to your guys. You need this conversion. You need to respond.
So the Rio Grande battle is already underway. At the end of the first quarter, the big play, Jarrell Preston, a 47-yard run for the Lobos. And that is the difference so far. We get ready for the second 15 minutes in Las Cruces. Welcome back once again. The Aggies down with the football, facing a big third down with good field position, but can they take advantage of it inside the 44 of New Mexico? So they're trying to snap a two-game slide of the Lobos, but the Lobos already hit them with a big play. And now Tyler Rogers needs about 5 on third down. Empty backfield. And do they have enough in the secondary? Goes over to the side that Morgan's on, and Morgan's got it. Morgan put down by Jaden Boatwright, the sophomore from Liberty Hill, Texas. So they flood 3 on the near side, go the opposite side.
It's a matter of numbers, trying to get the advantage, finding where the weakness is, and now they're going back to fast pace. I like this. Keep the tempo going.
Rose the single to the backfield. Van Rose runs out of the high tackle. And check that. It is Xavier Hall's first carry of the game, the sophomore from Las Cruces.
Xavier Hall.
Guy that went to Las Cruces High School last year, a 5-yard average as a true freshman. And gets 6 on first down there. They show the blitz. It's picked up the middle. Hall again going sideways, a little guy. Dropped by Cox. Hall's at 5'8", 180. So trying to get lost on his way through.
You can see why they voted Cox a leader. I mean, the guy has a nose for the ball. Read it, came through, a nice wrap-up, a 3rd and short. Another advantage for New Mexico State.
Cox's dad was the starting center at USC back in the 84 and 85 seasons. And a quick one on the outside. Morgan's got it, and he's got the first down. Showed it a little bit to hold him momentarily with Hall, and then got it out quickly to Morgan.
And right now, I would keep this tempo going. I would go no huddle, stretch him out, and do a quarterback sneak. Every time they do that, I've been watching, they're doing a TE stunt on the inside. There's a seam there for Tyler Rogers to run through.
You saw Morgan looking over to the sideline with the play call. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 24. It's out to Shapiro, and Adam Shapiro inside the 20, down to the 18.
And I need to say something about these receivers. They're doing a very good job blocking.
Right.
You notice they're not getting any holding calls. They know how to position themselves and give their running backs to other receivers a chance to run with the ball.
It'll be the quarterback keeping it, and down the sideline, touchdown Aggies. Tyler Rogers.
Good misdirection. Look at Tyler. Gets the defense going one way and then uses speed. Good block there by Jarrell Brown. And then Tyler Rogers does the rest, gets in the end zone, gets this game tied. I like it. The response by New Mexico State, a young team that doesn't know any different but to try to score and win.
So trying to get the equalizer with the lefty kicker, Maxwell Johnson. We just saw his shot up there as the Sun Belt Special Teams Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago. And he's perfect as it's all even now in Las Cruces. Got a good one going. A little more than 13 minutes left in the first half. And the Lobos strike first. Now it's the Aggies' turn with their sophomore from Peoria, Arizona, Tyler Rogers. $18-yard touchdown run by quarterback Tyler Rogers. And it is dead even between the Aggies and the Lobos. Joel Myers along with Jay Taylor. What a classic setting. On the opposite side of the freeway, just a few hundred yards from the ballpark. The mountains, the Oregon Mountains here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And it is absolutely magnificent. Not too shabby. It's Anaya and Wiggins back deep. So Alex Luthien, junior from Wichita, ready to kick it away with the wind at his back. and keeps it on the ground. Interesting. That much respect as it's picked up by the Lobos' Greg Wortman. And I know it's early for player of the game, but I've already got mine. There you go.
That is such a cool trick. And look at him. Don's like, I don't want to come back yet. No, let me play.
Yeah. No. You want it? Where's my treat, buddy? He's got to show him the treat first. There you go.
Gotta love those dogs. Those dogs are so. Tell you what, I saw one person, an old lady with one of those dogs. She's like, I love it. I'm like, you take it to the park every day? She goes, every day.
So the Lobos at their own 28. Touchdown run by Presley, on their last one. And banging it straight ahead. Not much by his standards, and that's Gongbei.
Now here's we talked about response. Now we need to see what's going to happen now. Now that we got a tie game again, can New Mexico go down and score? Can they put points? Has the offense started to figure out? Because defense has kept them there, but now we need to see if they can match the score again.
Gauchi, the quarterback, and a big one at 6'4", 235, calls his own. They took away Gibson effectively, the pitch man. So covering that option, that was impressive.
Right, and J.E. can even take the fullback away this time. They made sure that that would happen. Watch, as the fullback gets it, he's taken, and then now all of a sudden he gets hit. You can see a little grimace of pain right there. Could be a knee in the side. That doesn't
the hamstring.
That's true.
Missed the last game. The Arizona State game with a hamstring injury. 3rd and long. Press coverage, at least on the slot men. And the screen, good call for Gibson. Can he get there? It looks like it, because he was rolling on top of the man that was bringing him down. It's like Butler on the stop, but Gibson's gimpy going over to the sideline.
Looks like the ankle got rolled up a little bit. Excellent call. Screen, use the pressure against them. Missed tackle there by Derek. And you can see at the very end, see the last part right there got rolled up on. He's not a very big guy.
Right.
So all it takes is a little bit of weight.
Only 5'8", 175, and you could see Butler on his left ankle. An awkward landing. Low throw. Would have been better for it to be incomplete, and it is. Magnet went down to try to scoop it. It would have been a loss of a couple of yards had it been complete.
Well, Cole isn't the best thrower on the team, and you can see mechanically right there, you got to step in. You're throwing wide side of the field. You just can't flick it out there. You definitely have to line up, step into it, put some ump to it.
And a good point, because he went to a passing camp this past spring in Florida. That very reason. He's got to improve his passing game. Big kid, solid runner in their pistol option attack. Back to throw again. And flushed out. Good run. He's going to get the first down and wisely gets over to the sideline. So Gauchi alertly, he extended the pocket, first of all, to step up away from the pressure, and then you could see his running ability.
Larry Coyer, defensive coordinator, that's what frustrates you the most. When you got a quarterback, you got him pinned in there, and then all of a sudden he uses his legs and gets out of it. Great play by Cole. Nothing was there. Didn't try to force it. Found the seam. Got a big first down.
Drive started back at the Lobos 28. They've got a first down at the 46 of the Aggies. Gauchi just wide. Oh, what a beautiful outside linebacker. What a pitch to Gongbei. It looked like Harrington, well, the backer, was going to tip it.
Yeah, it was Dalton Harrington. His responsibility was the back. At the last second, he goes for the quarterback. You can see the quarterback was taken, but because Dalton came off his assignment, you see him chasing. That's what allowed that big run. They have to understand defensively. You have to do your job. Trust the guy to do his job.
Darian Jones barely got him. Otherwise, he is down and out. He's gone. So you wondered how they respond? Impressively. Another first down to the 23 of New Mexico State. It's Anaya. And Jay Eakins quickly on his back. So they don't want to be burned between the tackles anymore after what happened with Presley.
Exactly, and they're doing their assignments. That front four is really coming through, making sure they tackle the fullback. If I have the fullback, I'm tackling him with the ball or not. And that's what you have to do against this spread. I mean, when you talk about the pistol and the option, you just have to tackle who you think has the ball.
It'll be second. Still almost 10. Putting Magnet and Bundy on the wide side of the field. Movement and a false start on the running back Anaya.
False start. Offense, number 25. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's a young man who had his career best 51-yard run last season in this very game against New Mexico State. David Anaya. A little anxious.
Just a touch.
Good reason. Good reason.
Now, this is a perfect play to try crazy things, but I'd like to just get half of it back. Just get 7 or 8 yards. That's all you need. Make it third and manageable.
Give it to the up back. Man, that time they tracked Presley effectively. Eakins at home. And we talk about the middle. Eakins sets up tight as a left end, doesn't he?
And that's what's crucial to start. The first rule of thumb, you got to stop the easiest run play, which is up the middle. And that's exactly what Eakins doing. He's getting off his blocks. You know, he's 6'2", 275 senior. This game means a lot. He won't get to have it again.
It's the 10th play of the drive coming up on a 3rd and long that started back at the Lobos 28. On the low snap, tons of time for Gauchi. Now the lefty throwing it against the grain and wisely throwing it away. The only one in the neighborhood, Wiggins, and well over his head.
Cole tried to extend the play using his legs, seeing if there's anything else there. It wasn't. The smart move, get rid of it, give your kicker a chance, see if you can get some points on the board.
So the kicker with the wind at his back has already missed from 40 yards. Zach Rogers, his first miss of the season on his second attempt of the year. Now it's going to be a 43-yard attempt. And it's going to be a fake. The up man takes it, and he's gone. Look out, Quentin McCown. Touchdown, Lobos. The holder. So the gadget works for New Mexico.
What a play. Gutsy call to go for it from the fake field goal position. You could not ask for anything more. That hole parted like the Red Sea. I don't think he'll ever have an easier touchdown in his life.
Rogers thankful after missing the 40-yarder. He didn't take the 43-yard attempt. Instead, it's the extra point try and a 7-point lead. So the element of surprise, and it worked with the gadget play. So a 26-yard touchdown run by the junior from California, Quint McCown. And the Lobos are on top of the first half. If you've never been to the state of New Mexico, try to make it. It is spectacular. It is magnificent. And we got, Jay Taylor, a classic night to be here.
You couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, rivalry game, weather is great, fans are pumped. New Mexico had a week off, and we can see what they worked on, a nice fake field goal.
Gadget plays.
Gadget plays.
So Quentin McCown with the difference as it stands right now. Back deep, Morgan. And let's see if he can get a touch. They're going to line drive it. And did it make the end zone? Wow, that was close. but they're going to say it's a touchback. That was a duck hook.
That was a duck hook. That looks like my golf game right there.
Man. So a break. And the Aggies are going to have it out of the 25.
Now, we talked about responding, and so far both teams have responded. What's crucial for New Mexico State to respond now is they get the ball first in the second half. So it would be very good if they could go down and score to give themselves that type of advantage.
Morgan, the motion man, not only score, but chew up a lot of clock. Morgan underneath. Man, spun around a couple of times. Got away from Tevin Newman, originally the outside linebacker, the senior from Tampa.
Yep, Morgan reminds me a lot of Anquan Bolden, who I covered a lot in Phoenix and with the 49ers. Just this tough, get the ball, and I'm going to initiate the hit before you hit me.
5 on first down. So they set up Rose in the backfield, looking for a little alley over to the left side. But a good job with one arm out. Nick Diavazano did a good job, the sophomore from Baltimore. Man, and a guy who's starting, who did not start last week or 2 weeks ago, but Nick Diavazano. An exceptional job that time. So a big third down coming up. You talk about a response. You don't want to go 3 and out. Stop and a little stop route worked. And they throw him out of bounds. Joseph Matthews on the catch, but it's interesting. Throw him out of bounds a few yards. They'll let him play. It's a rivalry game.
They did. I thought there'd be a penalty, but Tyler Rogers, great read. You have single coverage on the backside, go for it.
Rose again, much better this time over to the left side. They have not been able to run the football yet. That has been a problem so far in the first half for New Mexico State to make the passing game even more efficient.
I agree, and I think
Officials timeout.
when they pick up the tempo and they throw their outside bubble screens, that's when the runs have been somewhat effective, because now the defense is expecting that to go way outside and they're cheating out that way and you're able to run. Versus when they slow it down and then start to run, you allow the bigger, faster New Mexico defense be prepared for you.
Well, unfortunately, as you see Bob Davie over one of his players, the Lobo is down. We'll come right back with an update on a 2nd and 5 situation and a 7-point lead for New Mexico. Just about 8 minutes gone in the second quarter in Las Cruces. 7-point lead for the Lobos. Aggies have it, though, moving at their own 46. Looking at the 2nd and 5. Unfortunately, Richard Winston, starter at outside linebacker for the Lobos, headed over to the sideline. We'll give you an update when we receive one. Man, it's going to be a keeper for Rogers. Good pursuit down the line by Dakota Cox, the middle linebacker out of Draper, Utah. Chased him down short of the first down by a little less than 2 yards.
Yeah, and I like the pace. They need to pick it up and keep going, keep pressing this defense.
Can they get the first down, though? Rose goes low, and he's got it by a yard down to the 48. So chew up some clock, which they're doing for a team that's not really been running the football. 6.5 to play in the first half.
And I give the Lobo defense some credit. They've made sure, outside of a crossing route, not giving up a big, long play over the top.
Empty backfield for Rogers. Straight 4-man rush, and there's Adam Shapiro. If the linebacker turns around on the play, I think he's got a beat on it. He might have touched the football.
He might have. And that's a zip by Tyler Rogers. You're seeing the confidence he has when he throws the ball, and right there, Markel Burr thought he had a good play.
And it's going to be a false start.
Flag is on the play.
The linebacker that didn't turn around.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Trey John Briggs, number 13 out there. And they're shuffling a lot of linebackers in and out, and especially now with the injury to Richard Whitson. We've seen Javari Johnson back in the game.
Exactly, and that's why I say it's important for them to keep that pressure going. Wear those linebackers out. That's That's where they need to attack. That's the weakness of the defense versus this passing attack.
It'll be 1st and 15 from the 41 after the mark-off. He had Shapiro. He'll come underneath, and it's complete to Bowen. So he got about 6-7 more, plus the penalty yardage. So about 12 on the reception.
And that's good. You got half that back. Now you're back to 2nd and short.
Betancourt takes over. And Betancourt with a nice lane over to the left side. He's got the first down, tripped up. It looked like it was going to be a real big game into the secondary.
And what you're seeing right now, the Lobos are switching to a man coverage here towards the end, trying to, as the end zone gets closer, trying to crimp up on those receivers and take away some plays. Good running option on that last play.
First down outside of the 25. Rose trying to pick a spot. And he's put down by Newman, strong side backer.
You see right now, I love the gamesmanship there. Guys getting up a little slow, allowing some subs to come in for that defense. But the offense trying to pick up speed again right now.
And the offense did not sub. They could have gone early. Inside of 5 left in the half on 2nd and long. And it's a throw towards Morgan, who was held from behind by Guthrie and got away with it. So you can get away with it, more power to you, because he held him by the jersey.
He sure did. Referee missed that. And Tyler Rogers actually was telegraphing that throw a little bit. You got to watch yourself. You know, he's a young quarterback. You still need to go through your progressions. You may think you know where you want to go,
called their
but you have to
second
make sure.
time out of the half.
New Mexico has slowed things down.
This will be a 30-second timeout in lane.
And an up-tempo offense that's going, and you're a little bit short-handed like they are. I don't blame New Mexico for using a defensive timeout.
Oh, you need to. That's one thing about the no-huddle, fast-paced offense is it can wear your guys out when you're on the field a long time. And we've seen this offense put together some long drives to wear down the defense. And we mentioned before, the defense has kind of been the weak spot. The offense has been able to score points, as we've seen today. I think what's crucial coming out of this timeout, the right call. Who's making the right call? I can tell you offensively, they might throw the bubble screen again, but I would look to fake the bubble screen and try to find somebody over the middle, try to stress his defense out. And if I'm the defense, they may come after them with the blitz.
You make the good call when you say that New Mexico has not been able to slow down their first 2 opponents, giving up almost 1,100 yards combined between the 2 teams offensively. Now it's going to be 3rd and about 8. 12th play of the drive. It started back at the Aggies 25 as Betancourt joins him in the backfield. And moving the launch point down the middle, and there's going to be a flag from behind. He tried to get it to Joseph Matthews once again, and a break for the quarterback, because that was up for a while.
It definitely was. Not the way I designed. I was designed to go to the middle, but they did go to the middle, and they got Edwards on the pass interference, but they knew that they were in man. You can see the play action pulls him up that way. Now he's trying to come across
Pass
the middle.
interference. Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty and an automatic. First down.
Saquon Edwards, who gets the start, a senior from Houston.
Sure was, and he knows it. He's like, sometimes that happens. Coach Martin talked about them being a faster team. And when you're faster, sometimes you're too anxious to get there. And you got to understand, you got to slow yourself down. If he just would have ran through, not through the receiver, but on top of the receiver, there wouldn't have been a penalty.
It'll be a 1st and goal at the 8. And Betancourt, the only one in the backfield, and nothing doing. He is dropped immediately. And a good play once again by Brett Bowers, the end pinching in on the play.
They have not had much success when they take their time and line up that way. That gives the defense a chance to get themselves set. They got to go to faster pace on those runs.
2nd and goal, lose a yard back to the 9. And he's got a single on a jump ball, and what a grab in the end zone. Yes, touchdown Aggies. Joseph Matthews.
Look at this play. Matthews is a post corner route, Rogers throws it on the outside, one-handed grab. Edwards does all he can. They're both evenly sized, 6'2", but you can see with the great throw, great catch, game time.
Previous ruling on the field of a touchdown, completed pass is under further review.
All you need is one, and let's see if he got the 1 foot in, and it looked like he did, and maintained possession. First it was one-handed grab too.
And that was just sensational. That was just a sensational catch and throw. As a quarterback, you're taught you throw it one or two spots where only my guy can catch it or it's going to go out of bounds, especially in the red zone. So that ball is thrown to the outside. That's the first point. Second point is they allow a little hand touch in there. He squares up, guides that ball in, 1 foot down, goes to the ground. The ball is still secure. That's an easy touchdown right there.
Sensational grab by the senior from Tucson, Joseph Matthews. We always talk about the back shoulder. It was one-handed towards that side. Anxiously, Doug Martin. He's not taking anything for granted.
No, at all. I mean, when you look at Rogers' stats before this game, 7 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. So, I mean, he knows how to spin it, squeeze it in. It's just sometimes, like we saw earlier in the game, he doesn't do the correct read, ends up turning the ball over. But you give him an opportunity, he's showing that he can squeeze that ball in.
We talked about using some clock. Didn't take that long if the drive stands. It was 4:06 off the clock.
This is what's going to be very interesting. They do have the win at the back. You know the fake field goal, what had happened. But when they get back on the field.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And so it's a matter of the way the offense is going. We know passing-wise, Cole has had some issues. Can they get some big gash runs to get down within position?
Max Johnson in for the point after. Young man that started his career at Oregon State. Good job of the holder, too, because it was snapped inside a little bit. High and tight. And Joshua Bowen, the wide receiver, got it down for him. It is all even the way it's supposed to be with 4 minutes to play in the half. And how about that drive? 14 plays, 75 yards. They got some help. Don't forget on the pass interference call.
And I think that was crucial because without that, they're kicking a long field goal. But it was a good play call. They saw there was a hole in the middle of the defense. Let's pull them up, try to get behind. They don't have the speed to just run by, so when you don't have the speed, play action's the way you do it.
Super night for football in New Mexico. You haven't been to Las Cruces. You're about 40 miles from the Texas border, from El Paso. Fort Bliss, Juarez. It's a beautiful part of the country. Mountains and the desert, basically. Here we go. What do the Lobos do? Anaya's going back deep along with Wiggins. It'll be Alex Luthen kicking it away for the Aggies. So 4 minutes and 7 seconds and still a timeout on the board for New Mexico. On a returnable one for Anaya. Taking it at about the 9. And a good return across the 30. Great field position again for the Lobos. They have definitely had the advantage when it comes to territory there and starting their drives. They'll start this one at the 35. They already had one of their own 48. Last one started at the 28 before the gadget play where they didn't settle for a field goal. If you joined us, it was a gadget play on a 43-yard field goal attempt and a touchdown run by the holder.
But like you said, that was a good return. It gives them the opportunity to put together a couple good runs and put themselves in definite field goal position, if not touchdown position.
We have not seen Gibson, have we? Gongbei has taken over. Gibson rolled his ankle a little bit. Van Gongbei with a bolt across the 45. He's got a first down.
Noah Bratton and Jamal Price and Eden Mahina, those guys right there in the center of the New Mexico offensive line just did a good job parting that sea. He didn't get touched till he was about 10 yards downfield.
5'11", 200-pound senior. Rockville, Maryland, a guy with plenty of experience, had better than 600 yards rushing last season. Had 3 starts. First down outside of the 45. Gongbe, not that time. Stuff him after a yard. We talked about Butler rolling. It was Butler who got Gibson and the ankle of Gibson under Rodney Butler. And that was Butler again on that stop.
When Butler filled that hole, he made sure he was not going anywhere. If you want to send a message of stopping a run, that's definitely it.
And that's a young man who's used to the heat. He's from Palm Springs, California. We talked about his role in the opener when he was the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week. 2nd and 9. Short side option. Gibson's back in and making a difference. So good news for the Lobos. Gibson takes it a yard shy of the first down, gets about 8 down to the 46.
Coach Davies mentioned he had concern about his offensive line. Right now, they've been doing a good job giving this running game an opportunity to get set. You're seeing the explosive speed of Gibson, even with a twisted ankle. As soon as he got that ball, he was upfield in a quick minute.
And his family is celebrating after what his brother Tayshawn, who played at Wyoming, did last week and returned a Drew Brees pass. 60-plus yards for a touchdown for the Cleveland Browns. It'll be 3rd and a yard. Man, going and just hammering it straight ahead, the little guy. And a first down. So Gongbe gets it. I say little. Not really. The way he uses his leverage.
Yeah, he's a little bit stout there. 5'11", 202. So he has a little leg drive in there.
Well, little guy is Gibson, of course, at 5'1", 175, the outside guy. Gongbe, the inside guy. For a ground game that was 4th best in the country last year at 309 yards a game. Short side option. Nifty move by Gauchi. Gauchi will run out of bounds with a flag down late, deep into the run in the secondary.
This offense is doing a good job on the assignments. The defense, where they were stopping it earlier, they're not stopping that triple option, and it's allowing them to get downfield. We'll see if this is a holding call that brings it back some. But that being said, this defense has played so well in the first half.
There's no foul on the play. The blocking question is legal.
So, good call. Now they're farther down the field. We talked about it, minute 54. They're able to move themselves down, definitely in field goal position. They have time. This offensive line needs to get kudos because they're definitely moving the smaller front of New Mexico State.
Moving it without throwing the football at all. And using the short side of the field for that option.
And their speed.
Please reset the game clock to 1:54, please. 1:54. The player was out of bounds.
So a minute 54 instead of a minute 52. One time out, a ton of time though. They're already down to the 18, but the return by Anaya set it up outside of his own 35. Presley, another 200-pounder in the backfield along with Anaya. And the toss, look, they want to throw wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Lobos. Jarek Magnet.
Well, when your quarterback isn't so effective throwing the ball, what do? You have your running back throw the ball. Great play because, like you noted, they hadn't tried to pass that entire series. They got the defense. They kept gashing them and gashing them and gashing them. And then when they came back with another run, the defensive back, you're supposed to stay back. He did not. Got beat on a halfback pass.
So it's Anaya on the throw. Jarek Magnet on the reception. And Rogers with the point after. So for the Lobos, look under G in the dictionary. Gadget, because they're using them early and often.
And that's the second one in this first half. And you got to think about it. I talked earlier about the fact that if New Mexico State went down and got a score, they get the ball first. Now they still got to try to get the situation. Corner pulls up, has no business doing that. You can see him flipping around right there. That's Adrian Jones. That's what happens when you're a freshman sometimes. You lose containment on who you're supposed to have. Secondary means that you are secondary. You cover the receiver first, you stop the run second. And clearly, Coach Davies said, you know, we got some things we're going to stick in. We got an off week. We had 2 tough games. The first game, they really felt that they should have won. Now, they're like, we got to get a win. And they're pulling out all stops right now.
That is the voice of experience, Jay Taylor, former San Jose State Spartan who played defensive back in the NFL. So you know that sick feeling they've got in the secondary.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, and that's the whole thing about it is, whenever I work with DBs, I try to tell them, your receiver is your responsibility. The guys up front get paid to do what they're supposed to do. You make the tackle 10 yards down the field, not 2 yards down the field. And so, again, young players, they have to learn. They have to understand. I'm curious to see if New Mexico State can get any type of points on the board knowing they get the ball first in the second half.
Morgan is back deep, along with Washington, the reserve running back. And out of the end zone it goes. So long field for the Aggies, but they have all 3 of their timeouts. Now, how much do they want to gamble back at their own 25? 3 timeouts on the board in a 7-point ball game.
I say go for it. Tyler Rogers, outside of that early interception, has been smart protecting the ball. If he gets the time, they go the fast pace like they've been doing. I think they can move down and at least get 3 based upon how the last couple series have went.
Morgan is going to the short side. I always look for 19. He's going to be on the same side as Bowen. Now he comes back in motion to the wide side, and they move the pocket in that direction. Wide open. It's Joshua Bowen. Complete for the first down. Not that they needed to work the sideline, but that stops the clock momentarily.
And I like that. That's smart. Use the sideline. Use that instead of protect your timeouts, but I like to see faster pace than now.
1:43 to play. Underneath, he had Shapiro. Once again, he wanted Bowen. And Shapiro's corner had dropped off as well. Cranston Jones, so could have been dangerous.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous. That's a throw that is a good thing it was incomplete. That's one he shouldn't have tried to force in there. He was better off going to his running back in the middle because he did a little option route and it was wide open.
2nd and 10. Man, uncovered. It's complete for the first down. The slot man was uncovered on the play. And how do you lose him? Teldrick Morgan.
You can't lose him. This is a guy that just is showing what type of receiver he is. He's just going to get that ball and make plays. Keep it going.
8 catches, 202 yards last week in a loss. And over to the left side, it's Rose. First time they've run it on this possession. They've got plenty of time, plus 3 timeouts. So Larry Rose gets about 6 on the carry.
And right now, I'd like to see even a faster pace. Get the defense on his heels. They're struggling a little bit right now. You're giving up a couple big plays.
Need 4, almost going the other way. Reading it perfectly, but couldn't come up with it. Saquon Edwards, who was burned on that play in the corner of the end zone earlier.
Sure was, and that would have been 6. That could have been a complete game changer going
Disaster.
into the halftime. Exactly. So you got to watch that right there. Trying to go quick. Again, the block doesn't happen. Guys aren't set and ready. I think this is smart.
It's called their first time out of the half.
Good idea.
Yes.
30 seconds in length.
Very good idea because that was a situation that could have took all your momentum away. You have to be smart in what you do, especially at this point in time in the game with the young team. Take the time out, regroup them, let them understand, hey, this is what we're going to do. Personally, I like in these type of situations, call 2 plays because then you know already the situation with the time on the clock is 1:05, but I would call a second play if you get the first down so that you can catch the defense in a bad situation.
Well, it'll stop the clock. You get up to the line in a hurry as they reset it, as you mentioned, and go quick tempo. So they're getting ready for halftime. Best days of their lives, college years. There's nothing close.
There's nothing. I always tell people, they're like, don't you wish you were a certain age? I'm like, I wish I was still 20, 19.
College.
No bills.
Anytime in college. 3rd and 5. Big play both ways. Here comes the heat, and he's got to throw it away. It was a forward pass. Incomplete. So the pressure paid off.
Kevin Cosgrove, defensive coordinator of Mexico defense, dialed up an all-out blitz and just brought it from the inside out. New Mexico State couldn't respond. Decision time.
There's no intentional grounding. There's a receiver in the area. Fourth down.
He had a man in that flat area. The wide receiver was coming back.
So do they not trust the kicker right now?
It would be about a 45-yard attempt into the wind, but he's not getting the sniff right now. So now it's 4th and 5. Man, Shapiro on the outside.
False start. Offense, number 7. 5-yard.
Boy, that's rare.
And that should never happen. That's a middle mistake right there by a senior that knows better. You're on the outside. There's no reason for you to false start just because you see a blitz coming on the inside. Now you make this even a more difficult situation.
Well, the only miss for Johnson coming into the game was 50 yards away. It'll be 4th and 10. Can they give him enough time? Yes, middle of the field, and it's intercepted. Picked off. The wide receiver was all tangled up. He was trying to get it to Joseph Matthews, and Saquon Edwards has the pick.
And Tyler Rogers made a very bad play decision on that. He should have went strong side. He went weak side, and the receiver had no chance. You can see right there, Matthews isn't even running hard enough on an inside play. He had the numbers and the space what he needed on the right, but he pre-read and decided to go that way. Bad decision. Fortunately, they made the tackle. It didn't hurt him anymore.
It's back at the 20. And there was contact. There was no question, and I think it was Bird who got him across the middle and tangled up the wide receiver. On the carry, it's Gongbe. So one more snap, and that should take us to halftime. Yes. So 2 trick plays. Let's face it. Halfback option pass. Anaya to Magnet, the difference right now. And the touchdown before by the holder on a field goal try. Quentin McCowan taking it 26 yards for a score.
You know, sometimes they say it's not how you win, it's that you just win. So, Coach Davey, right, like I said, they're 0-2. They'll take it any which way they can.
Gauchi on what should be the final play of the half. Man reversing his direction. The running back. It's Presley, who's got a 47-yard touchdown run. And because he does go out of bounds. But stops the clock with the first down.
And I must say I'm a little shocked at the play selection, what they're doing right now. Take a knee. You don't want to give a chance up. You know you don't get the ball back first in the second half. A little missed snap could change everything right here.
So this, now it should be the final snap. It's Gongbe. And that'll do it. So the Lobos, looking for their 3rd consecutive win over the Aggies, have a lead at the break. Beautiful night in Las Cruces. What a start to the Rio Grande Battle. New Mexico 21, New Mexico State 14.